Hi there, I'm Kelsey Warner, the UAE editor of the circuit. Thank you for your patience for those few seconds as we got ourselves together. Dr. Ebtesam, good to see you. Hello.
Thank you for hosting us. I would like also to thank the organizer, especially shedding the light on generative AI assembly and the importance of discussing this topic this year.
You are the woman of the hour, so I am very excited to be here with you today. The Economist reported last month on Falcon, and as is typical with Western press, they called it a surprise challenger in the AI race. And if you haven't seen the story, I do suggest that you check it out. But for those paying attention, Falcon has not come out of nowhere. The UAE has developed this as really no surprise. I'm hoping that you'll shed light. Faisal Al-Panay, Secretary General of the ATRC, which is overseeing the project, said, "We're entering the game to disrupt the core players." So game on. So Dr. Ebtesam, can you take a step back, introduce us to Falcon, introduce where this all began, how it was inspired? It didn't come out of nowhere.
Yes, so absolutely. For people who don't know, and before even ChatGPT, we introduced the first largest NLP model in Arabic. It has been released in April 2022, but no one cares because there was no ChatGPT. And what we did is we worked, we know as, let's say, scientific and tech people, we understand the importance of natural language process. Today, I am speaking to you using my language. We are speaking at the same time about digital transformation, automation, how I can communicate tomorrow with the machines if I don't have the simple understanding of the human language. That's why, for us as an AI scientist and people who are working on the advanced tech sphere, to understand how we can embed these natural language processing, or what it's called today large language model, as generative AI model, so the ability of the machine to introduce images, text, videos, audios, and how we can analyze that text, understand the context of that model, and embed it and integrate it on different platforms. So we started with Noor, and the importance of Noor, it was basically an Arabic language. We want to have an Arabic communication between us and the machine, and that was the main spirit of Noor project. After the huge success of Noor last year, we said, okay, we already did it, and there was few players in the, let's say, the market. They are working on GPT-3 model and different small LLMs. And I already established the good team. They can work in transformer models, NLP models. So what's the next step is let's have a model with the size of GPT-3 model, but at the same time outperform GPT-3. And that's why Falcon has been, let's say, produced. And we work on that since the summer of 2022 until the release of the first version of Falcon 40B in March 2023. It was the first LLM model that has been released as an open source model, free for commercial and researcher use around the world, outperforming Llama from Meta. And we saw the capabilities of Falcon 40B. It already outperformed GPT-3. So we scale the training for Falcon 180B. We know what is the potential of these generative AI models. So once we finished the training, of course, we did our evaluation based on the scientific evaluation using different metrics and evaluation benchmark. And we saw the capability of Falcon 180B. For you just to understand what I mean by Falcon 180B and what is the rationale about this name is, when I say Falcon 180B, there are different sizes for large language model. And 180B, it means that the size of this large language model, it has 180 billion parameters. And we train it using 3.5 trillion tokens. In terms of the performance, Falcon 180B, it is outperforming Llama 2 from Meta. In terms, if you compare it with a closed source model today, Falcon is just behind GPT-4 model. It is the same foundation model which is powering ChatGPT. And also, if you compare it also with Google Bard, Falcon 180B is on the par of the performance of Google Palm 2, which is the same model that it's powering Bard.
You're stealing my notes. You're better than Google. You're outperforming Meta. You've framed that up for us well. Okay, you're outperforming the big players in some key parameters on Hugging Face, which is kind of keeping track of all of these new LLMs. Why open source it? Why make something so freely available? You could be cashing in.
Good question. So, for people who develop this technology, we know the huge investment that you have to put while developing this technology. And we want to have a better future for everyone, for better humanity. The ultimate goal that we are trying today on many, let's say, industries and the players that we want to innovate, to have advanced technology at the end to solve the global challenges in healthcare, education, many other spheres and industries. You can't achieve it by yourself, and this is the reality. If you open source these advanced AI model and you believe in the inclusive approach and the transparency approach, you will enable everyone with the power, let's say, that has a generative AI model brings to our table today.
Is this a local play? Is the hope that your core customers will be from the Gulf as an alternative to buying products from Microsoft or Google or other larger competitors? Are you hoping to be a local option, or do you have global ambitions?
Today, we are already in the global scale.
Yeah.
And Falcon 180B, it is a flagship, let's say, generative AI model around the world. So if you can see all of the other LLMs, they are coming from the US, especially if we are comparing ourselves to Palm 2 Large and Llama 2. Today, UAE is already in the frontier of generative AI model industries. And to enable everyone with this, let's say, powerful generative AI model, you can build your own startup company using these large language model. If you are a researcher or developer in an institute or R&D, let's say, domain, you can have today access to these large language model, whether it is Falcon 2 or GIS as well in United Arab Emirates, and build your innovative ideas based on that.
Can you talk a little bit about how many developers, you said where they're coming from, it sounds like a Western kind of audience, but how many developers have tinkered with Falcon, and what are they doing? What are some of the applications you're excited to see?
Your question about how many people they work in Falcon?
Yeah, how many people have you seen tinkering with Falcon in the open source environment?
Okay, so Falcon 180-bit has already been released in September, so just a couple of, let's say, weeks. And it already outperformed, and today it is in the top of the Hugging Face leader board. For Falcon 40B, it has been released as an open source since May, and we have today over 12 million downloads. So you can imagine a lot of people, they are today utilizing Falcon for different industries, including AMD. So AMD, when they released the latest GPU that it is empowering generative AI model, they used Falcon 40B to demonstrate the capabilities of generative AI model using their GPU. And also Amazon, they already released before a couple of weeks Falcon Lite 2. It is based on our Falcon project.
So text is ultimately just sequential data. I learned this actually from Alessio at Google this morning. But this means an LLM is effectively language agnostic. Falcon is trained on English language text. JACE, which you just referenced, which is from G42 and the AI University in Abu Dhabi, MBZ UAI, is bilingual in Arabic and English. Can you talk a little bit about the choice of language? Noor, you guys debuted with an Arabic LLM. The choice of language is a powerful one. Can you talk about what to do with Falcon going forward? Will it always be an English language LLM, or could you expand to use biodata, mathematical models?
We are exploring both options. So for your information, that we already started Noor, and we maintain Noor as an Arabic model. Now, can we combine these two projects? There is a consideration and approach to consider that this approach, but the main goal, we already have Noor, and it's really working well for Arabic NLP, let's say, technologies. And for Falcon, it is not only speaking English, it can speaks French, Spanish, Swedish, so 10 European languages. Now we are already engaging with different people from different governments to enhance the capability of Falcon speaking also with different languages.
Interesting. Can you talk more about applications for Falcon? And digital transformation has been a huge theme in the Gulf as they forge and diversify away from oil revenue. The idea of the fourth industrial revolution is incredibly resonant here. Can you talk about Falcon and what it can do and how it can help accelerate here the digital transformation strategies?
So in general, when we speak about digital transformation, we already spoke about it since like 2 decades now.
Right. That's not news. It's an old
yes.
topic.
And there is no harm, but this is because when we speak about digital transformation, it is not only AI. It is telecom industry, it is metaverse, it's blockchain, it is robotics. There are many players. Even the infrastructure, it is not ready yet to deploy all of these advanced emerging technologies, whether it is enterprise level or even as let's say city level, where we can deploy it. Today, for example, in AI or generative AI especially, you can take healthcare, and this is my favorite example, by the way. In drug discovery, you can take traditional, let's say, many years until you come up with a new drug discovery. Using generative AI model, you can squeeze the life cycle for that drug discovery towards 21 days only. So it is very important to utilize it in the, let's say, the specific domains where we have a challenge in terms of the time, and it will not solve for you the solution. It will give you the, let's say, the proof of concept, the trial, let's say, medicine, the trial drug that you are seeking towards testing it in your experiments and lab. You can use it in education, and this is well-known, let's say, example. Today in our curriculum system, we have different people with different knowledge, with different capabilities, in different, let's say, multiple stages. How I can refine this curriculum for them using generative AI model. And this is straightforward application today based on, for example, on Ebtesam expertise, how I can advance her knowledge. So I can fit that generative AI model with all of the technologies that I think that executive person he should have, that person in, let's say, in the primary school he has. And even if you look to the classroom today within your colleagues, different levels of understanding. This generative AI model, it will be a specific tutor for you in order for you to enhance and improve your learning skills and capabilities.
I want to move over to talk guardrails, bias, the danger section of the conversation. Guardrails has been the buzzword of AI in 2023, and I want to ask you how you're thinking about making sure Falcon is not exploited. And I wonder for your sensibility around the idea of Falcon being developed as a net good for society, or if you see LLMs more as just a neutral tool that ultimately we as humans will make bad or good. Is Falcon good or bad? Can Falcon be good or bad? Not to get too philosophical.
Well, any technology, even if it is not an AI, there is always, let's say, a risk, and there is also a positive impact for that technology. Falcon itself, it is a generative AI tool, so it's basically, it is the ultimate responsibility for the user at the end, how he wants to deploy it responsibly and ethically. It is our responsibility as well as developers to ensure how we develop this generative AI model. So when I did, for example, with my team, the data collection, we ensure that we remove any toxic data in our set. We remove any harm or, let's say, misleading information that it can come towards training our generative AI model. So let's say, to ensure the transparency, we open source Falcon 180B. Of course, when you open source any model, not only Falcon 180B, you encourage the society to tell you exactly there is a gap there. If you utilize it, for example, in coding, it can generate this threat for you, how I can mitigate that threat. This is the beauty of open source and making this technology open for everyone.
So you feel secure, you're sleeping well at night, you feel you've mitigated the risks?
Yes.
I want to talk a little bit about bias. You are in a heavily white, old, and male space, if I may say. And you represent something different, frankly. Can you talk a little bit about being in this space and the team you've built and how that's been?
Okay. In UAE, we don't have this, let's say, issue for gender equality. You gain the position based on your credibility for that position, and this is why I got that position at the end. If you looked at my team, also I recruit them based on their abilities and their capabilities. I try also to empower women. So if, for example, women in general, they tend to be shy. They tend to be like, they have this sort of thinking that maybe my colleague as a male, he has better position because he's a male. I'm trying to empower everyone with the technology, with the knowledge, not only within my team, but also everyone. Everyone today, regardless your gender, you can work in advanced tech, even if you don't have the basic knowledge for it. We all of us, we are learning. Every day there is something new, even regardless your, let's say, education level. You keep up learning. Even myself, I am learning. Every day there is something new within the technology. You have to keep up with it regardless your gender, and you can keep up with this technology.
Well, I have to say, I mean, visiting TII, it's a uniquely international, gender-balanced space. It's a nice place to be, frankly.
Exactly. So here in Technology Innovation Institute today, we have 55% women. And the remaining is, let's say, male, and we are multinational. So my team, they are coming from 70 plus countries around the world. I mean, TII in general, today we are more than 860 plus employees in Technology Innovation Institute, not only working in AI technology, but also in robotics, advanced material, cryptography, quantum computing, and others.
I want to look ahead, make a prediction, right? We have to leave on a prediction. We're sitting here in the Museum of the Future. Looking ahead, what is next for Falcon? A year in advance, 2 years in advance always feels a little lame, a little safe. Look ahead a decade from now and think about where you want to be, you and your team.
Always when you plan for a vision, I think the most important, you have to see where UAE wants to head. And this is the ultimate goal for Advanced Technology Research Council and Technology Innovation Institute, even with Dubai Future Foundation and the future of the Museum of the Future. The main thing is we want UAE to be the catalyst and the hub for the innovation and the advanced technology. And how we can achieve that goal is by empowering everyone with the knowledge, with the technology. We equip everyone with the resources that we need. So if you go, for example, for Falcon, I see Falcon is a project towards achieving the general agenda for United Arab Emirates.
We're rooting for you. And thank you for your time. Thank you for being here today. Dr. Ebtesam.
Thank you.